Hi everyone, welcome back to Kotlin with Compose. In today's video, we are diving into an essential topic in Jetpack Compose, that is state management. Understanding how to manage state is crucial for building responsive and dynamic UIs. Let's get started. Firstly, let's briefly talk about what state is. In Jetpack Compose, state refers to any data that can change over time and affect what is displayed on the screen. For instance, a counter value, a toggle state, or even a user input. So, as you can see, I have already opened my Android Studio and I will illustrate basic state handling by making a simple counter app which will increase the value while we press the button. So, to start, let's create a class, a Kotlin class, in which we will add our UI and our functionality, and let's call it counter here. A counter.kt file will be populated, and now let's create our composables. So we can create by using comp, and our predefined will be ready, and we can give it a name. So let's give it a name. So I will give it name counter here, and let's remove this modifier here. And now let's create our UI first. So let's create column here, and let's give it a modifier property, and let's give it fill max size, and let's align it center horizontally, and also give it a arrangement and gives it arrangement to center. And now let's create text composable which will hold the count value here, and also let's create a button which on clicked will increase the counter value. So text, let's name it increase. And now let's create a mutable state value. So let's create a variable and name it count, and let's use equals to remember, and let's add. So what this remember is this is a function that is used to create a state object that survives the recomposition. It is typically used with mutable state of, and we will be using that too here. So let's add mutable state of, and let's assign a value 0 here. So what this mutable state of is, this is a function that creates a mutable state of objects. When the value changes, the UI automatically re-renders to reflect the new value because of this mutable state. So let's add this count value here. So we assigned a variable in string by annotating with $sign. So $count, and it will take the value from here, whatever the value it holds. And so on pressing button, we want to increment the value here. So that by using count plus plus count.value.plus+. So, and here also we need to use count.value. Why? Because we have used equals to sign here, and we have to provide the value, because on providing equals to here, it is just a mutable state. So it is a mutable state of int value. So it is not just a int, it is a mutable state value. So to call the mutable state value, we use a value here. But instead of using equals to here, if we use by, then the remember states will be quite different. because the now value, because we don't need to assign value anymore. We can just create it like this. So I hope you find this video quite helpful, and I hope you learned about the state here. So how we can change, how we can use by parameters, and how we can use equals to operator, and how we can use remember, and how we can use mutable state of. So now let's do the main part. Now let's connect this counter with our application. So to do that, we go to our main activity and now let's replace this greeting inside the set content with our counter composable. So if we hit Ctrl and in counter, then we'll go to this value. So now let's run this app and see whether on pressing the button our count value changes or not. So let's run our app, and you can see that it's built, and let's press this button and see if the count value changes or not. So yeah, on pressing the count value, we are able to change the count value too. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Kotlin with Compose. For more content like this, if you have any questions or topics you would like me to cover, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching and happy coding.